Well, the gig was sort of odd because I was quite a good tennis player in my younger days, and I played tennis with Grant Tinker about 2 times a month on my father's court. My dad was a producer, and I had directed a number of documentaries and had won some awards for them. One of them being The Making of Tootsie, where I spent a year with Sidney Pollack and Dustin Hoffman documenting that. It's sort of the director-actor relationship. And it was a pretty good movie, and I was accepted in the American Film Institute as the youngest fellow as a director. And I asked Grant Tinker if he could help me transition into television, and he said it really wasn't something that he did. He was running NBC at the time, but he would pass it along. So he passed my movie along to a guy named Stu Irwin, who was then, I believe, either the president or the executive vice president of MTM. I met with Stu. It turned out Stu was an intern on my uncle Marlo Lewis's shows, which included the Ed Sullivan Show, which he produced for years and years at CBS. And I guess Stu got his first job through my uncle. So Stu was inclined to try to help me and give me a vine. So he looked through St. Elsewhere and Hill Street Blues and all the shows that were being done, and I guess he found Michael Gleason, the guy with the biggest heart in the world, and he introduced me to Michael. So Michael, of course, was this wonderfully enthusiastic, great guy who, after a series of conversations, he realized that I was a serious student of film and that it was something that I had been dedicated to my whole life, and said, hey, kid, I can't give you a show right away, but if you prove to me that you really are committed and you spend a year with us watching every show and follow every director and ask every question, I'll let you into production meetings. You can talk to me about scripts. I'm all there for you. All you need to do is show up. So that's exactly what I did. For a year, I followed Harry Harris and Alex Singer and Don Weiss and all these great guys, and Peter Medic came over from Europe who had done the ruling class, and Stephanie and Pierce let me talk to them and pick their brains, and the assistant directors were fantastic, and the camera people were unbelievable with me, and that's what I did for a year. Is I picked their brain and I took notes in a little notebook, and it was interesting because while I was doing this sort of follow around as a kid, I was setting up major motion pictures at Warner Brothers, Universal, and Paramount as a feature producer. I was going from these meetings with presidents of studios as a producer to following guys like Harry Harris around saying, or Dennis Matsuda, the cinematographer, saying, hey Dennis, so I put it like 100 millimeter and it will compress the angles, and will I be able to do this and do that? So I had these sort of morning life that I was doing in meetings, and then I'd hustle over to MTM and follow these guys around.